I woke up to the hum of machines that didn't breathe the way hospital machines on Earth were supposed to breathe. Back home in Karachi, hospitals had a rhythm, distant chatter, trolley wheels squeaking over tiles, the faint smell of antiseptic and tea. This place had none of that. The air was too clean, the light was too white, and the silence felt engineered. For a moment I thought I was dreaming. Then I tried to move. Pain flared along my ribs and down my left leg. I sucked in a sharp breath and stared at the ceiling above me. It wasn't flat. It curved like the inside of an egg, faint veins of blue light pulsing beneath a translucent surface. This was not a hospital room. My last memory came crashing back in fragments, sirens, screaming metal, a blinding flash across the night sky. I had been driving home from work along the coastal highway. The radio had been reporting strange meteor activity over the Arabian Sea. I remember looking up through the windshield and seeing something streak across the clouds, too slow for a meteor, too controlled. Then the world had turned white. "Easy," a soft voice said beside me. "You're safe." I turned my head. She stood there in a uniform that looked almost familiar, sleek, white, fitted like a nurse's scrubs but seamless, flowing faintly like liquid fabric. Her face was calm, impossibly symmetrical. Skin pale but luminous. Eyes a deep silver gray that reflected the room's light in subtle spirals. Her smile was gentle. "I am Nurse Alara," she said. "You were injured. I am here to heal you." Relief flooded me so suddenly it made my vision blur. You speak English," I whispered. "We have studied your languages," she replied smoothly. "Please do not strain yourself." She moved closer, and I noticed something strange. Her footsteps made no sound. Her body carried no scent, not perfume, not soap, not even the faint human trace of warmth. She lifted her hand and placed it lightly over my chest. The pain vanished. Not dulled, not numbed. "Gone," I gasped. A soft glow radiated from her palm, barely visible, like moonlight underwater. I felt warmth seep into my bones, into torn muscle and cracked ribs. My breathing eased. The tightness in my leg unraveled like a knot being undone. What are you?" I asked. She tilted her head just slightly. "A healer." And for the next few days, or what I believed were days, she was exactly that. The facility was enormous. From my bed, I could see through a transparent wall into a corridor that curved away into shimmering distance. The architecture was organic, almost grown rather than built. No sharp corners. No visible seams. Everything glowed faintly with internal light. Alara explained that I had been brought here after a cosmic accident. She said their vessel had been traveling through Earth's upper atmosphere when a malfunction caused an energy surge. My car had been caught in it. "We did not intend harm," she said softly. "You were collateral." The word stung. "But we value life," she added. "We are correcting our mistake." I wanted to be angry. Instead, I was terrified and strangely comforted. She visited me often. Each time, she placed her hand on some part of my body and warmth would bloom. Bruises faded within minutes. My fractured leg mended in hours. My exhaustion lifted like fog burning under the sun. I began to walk by what felt like the third day. "You are healing remarkably well," she said, watching me pace the room. "That's you?" I replied. "Your powers." She studied me in silence. "We do not call it power," she said finally. "We call it resonance." She explained, carefully, almost clinically, that her species had mastered cellular harmonics. Every living organism emitted a vibrational signature. By aligning her own biofield to mine, she could encourage damaged cells to regenerate at accelerated rates. It sounded impossible, and yet I was living proof. Sometimes, when she thought I wasn't looking, I would see her studying me. Not casually, intently. Her eyes would flicker faintly, like data streaming behind them. "Why me?" I asked once. "All life is worthy," she answered. But something in her tone felt rehearsed. The first crack in the illusion came on what I believed was the 5th day. I had wandered farther down the corridor than usual. Alara normally accompanied me, but she had been delayed. I told myself I was just stretching my legs. The corridor opened into a vast chamber. Rows of translucent pods lined the walls, hundreds of them. Inside each pod lay a human. Men, women, even a child, all unconscious. My stomach twisted. I approached the nearest pod. A middle-aged man floated inside, suspended in pale blue fluid. Small filaments extended from the pod into his temples, chest, and spine. A faint glow pulsed through him. "Healing," a voice said behind me. I turned sharply. Alara stood at the chamber's entrance. Her expression was calm, but her eyes were sharper now. "You said I was collateral," I whispered. "That it was an accident." "It was." "Then what is this?" She walked toward me slowly. "Your species was not selected intentionally. The malfunction scattered energy signatures across a wide radius. Many were injured. We retrieved those within our reach." I gestured wildly at the pods. "This is not a hospital ward. This is a collection." Her gaze didn't waver. "You perceive imprisonment. We perceive preservation. Why are they still unconscious?" "To ensure optimal integration." The word hit me like ice water. Integration. She hesitated. For the first time since I'd met her, she seemed to weigh her words. "Our civilization is diminishing," she said quietly. "Our biology is reaching entropy. We cannot reproduce. We cannot adapt to certain cosmic variables. Your species, however, is extraordinarily resilient." My pulse thundered in my ears. "What does that have to do with healing us?" She stepped closer. "Healing is the first stage." I backed away until I felt the curve of the wall against my spine. "You said you were correcting a mistake." "We are," she replied. "The energy surge damaged your cellular matrices. We restored them." "And then what?" She looked at the pods. "Your physiology contains adaptive sequences we do not possess. By merging selective genetic frameworks, we can stabilize our species." "Merging," I repeated faintly. "Yes." The filaments inside the pods pulsed brighter. "You're experimenting on us. We are evolving together." Without consent, her expression shifted, not to guilt, but confusion. "Consent is an individual construct," she said. "Survival is collective." I stared at her, at the being who had erased my pain with a touch. Her healing had never been kindness. It had been preparation. "You fixed us," I said slowly, "so we'd be strong enough." "For compatibility," she confirmed. A chill crawled up my spine. "And me?" I asked. "Why am I awake?" She stepped closer again. Too close. "Because you responded differently." "How?" "Your neural pathways demonstrated unusual plasticity. You adapted to resonance faster than projected." I remembered how quickly my wounds had vanished. "You weren't just healing me," I whispered. "You were testing me." She didn't deny it. "You are a bridge," she said softly. "A prototype." The room seemed to tilt. "What happens to the others?" "They will awaken when integration stabilizes." "As what?" I demanded. She paused. "As more." That night, if it was night, I lay awake in my room, staring at the glowing ceiling. Her healing touch replayed in my mind. The warmth, the relief, the trust, all of it calculated. Yet a part of me couldn't reconcile the cold logic of her mission with the gentleness she had shown. The way she adjusted my pillow, the way her voice softened when I winced. Was that programmed too? The door slid open without a sound. "Alara?" She stepped inside. "You are distressed," she said. "No kidding." She approached slowly, as if nearing a frightened animal. "I did not intend to cause psychological harm." "That's generous." She stood beside the bed, but didn't touch me. "I've been assigned to your care for the entirety of this cycle," she said. "I have observed your emotional responses. And they are complex." I laughed bitterly. "That's human." Silence stretched between us. "You are not merely data to me," she said quietly. I met her eyes. "Then stop this." She didn't look away. "I cannot." "Why?" "Because if we fail, my species ends." The weight of that hung in the air. "And if you succeed," I said, "mine changes forever." "Yes." No malice. No triumph. Just fact. "Do you feel anything about that?" I asked. She hesitated. "When I align with your resonance," she said slowly, "I experience echoes." Echoes. Emotions that are not my own. Fear. Determination. Attachment. My breath caught. "You feel what we feel." "Yes." And her voice dropped to almost a whisper. "I do not know if that is a flaw or an awakening." The turning point came when she healed me again. A controlled accident in the corridor, an energy surge that knocked me against a wall. I knew it wasn't random. She rushed to me, placing her glowing hand over my head. As the warmth flooded through me, I did something instinctive. I focused. If she could resonate with me, perhaps I could push back. I concentrated on one thing: raw, unfiltered human emotion. Not fear. Not anger. Love. Memories of my mother's laughter in our kitchen in Karachi. My younger sister's wedding day. Friends crowding around a roadside tea stall at midnight. Connection. Choice. Imperfection. The glow between us intensified. Alara gasped. For the first time, her composure shattered. Images flickered behind her silver eyes, confusion, wonder, pain. Her hand trembled. "You are amplifying," she whispered. "You said you feel echoes." I replied through clenched teeth. "Feel this." The resonance surged. The corridor lights flickered. A low alarm pulsed through the facility. She staggered back, breaking contact. The glow vanished. She looked at me, not as a specimen, not as a bridge, as an equal. "I did not understand," she breathed. "That's the problem," I said. In the hours that followed, something changed. The facility hummed with agitation. I saw other alien figures moving quickly through corridors, their forms taller, more angular than Alara's. She returned to me, urgency in her eyes. "The Integration Council is aware of the anomaly," she said. "They will proceed without further adaptation." Meaning, they will initiate full merging protocols. For everyone? Yes. When? Soon. Then stop them. I cannot override the council, but you can delay them. She looked at me for a long moment. "You believe your emotional resonance can disrupt the process." "You felt it," I said. "It affected you." "Yes." "Then let's amplify it." It was insane, but so was everything else. She led me back to the chamber of pods. The unconscious humans floated in eerie stillness. "What do I do?" I asked. "I will connect you to the central harmonic core," she said. "Your neural patterns will propagate through the resonance field. And then they will feel." She placed a filament against my temple. The world exploded into light. I was everywhere. In every pod. In every suspended mind. I felt fear, confusion, fragments of dreams. I pushed through them, sending waves of memory and emotion outward. Families, cities, music, laughter, grief, choice, individuality. The harmonic field vibrated violently. Across the chamber, alien figures recoiled as their resonance destabilized. This is not control, I shouted into the collective. This is not evolution. It's theft. Alara stood at the core interface, hands pressed against the controls. Her eyes were glowing brighter than ever. The Council's presence pressed against us, cold, unified, relentless. Survival, they projected. Without choice is extinction of the soul, I pushed back. The resonance surged again. One by one, the pods began to open. Humans gasped, coughing as fluid drained away. The harmonic grid fractured. Alarms wailed. Alara screamed, a sound raw and unfiltered, as the feedback tore through her. I broke the connection. The chamber fell silent. The alien figures were gone. The walls flickered, then stabilized. Alara collapsed. I caught her. Her skin was dimmer now, the glow faded. What did we do? I asked. We severed the merging sequence, she whispered. The Council has withdrawn. They will leave your planet. And you? She managed a faint smile. I am compromised. Because you felt? Yes. I held her as the facility began to dissolve around us, walls dissolving into light, structure unraveling. You could come with us, I said desperately. Start over. She shook her head weakly. My physiology is bound to the vessel.